Well, after another hot and humid day across the coastal empire and low country, many of us are looking ahead to the weekend to see if there's any relief in sight. Storm Team 3 Chief Meteorologist Scott Roberts joins us now with a first look at your weekend forecast. Hey, Scott.
Hey, good evening, Sarah. Unfortunately, we don't have much relief from the heat in the forecast. We had very hot and humid conditions for today, and that's part of the reason why those few storms that did develop for our western counties were able to become strong, even severe for places like Montgomery and Toombs County, dumping a lot of heavy rain. Down into places like Jeff Davis County, where we've been dealing with some of that heavier rain over the past hour or so with some strong and gusty winds. Actually, there was a flood advisory in place because of rainfall totals estimated by Viper Radar over 2.5 inches. So definitely be careful on the roadways, but gradually overnight conditions will be able to dry out. But these storms definitely feeding off of the hot conditions earlier today, reaching the upper 90s to 100 degrees for Jessup. Even now, we're still on the warmer side with temperatures in the 80s, 70s, where those storms rolled through over the last couple of hours. But as we do go into the overnight, we will be able to clear out and cool off into the middle and upper 70s for most of us. But another hot and humid day is expected for Saturday. Same thing for Sunday. We also have some low-end shower and thunderstorm chances in the forecast for both afternoons. Looks like those chances increase a little bit for Sunday, but going beyond the weekend forecast, our forecast is going to be determined by what is possibly brewing in the tropics. The Hurricane Center is watching this area of broad circulation over the eastern Gulf, and there's a low-end risk that it becomes a tropical depression or storm. We'll have more details on that coming up in a few moments. Sarah?
Scott, thank you. It still may be summer vacation, but for many student athletes, fall sports season is already here. Teams across the area are getting ready for the season ahead, and they're doing it while dealing with some serious heat. WSAV's Isley Herschel joins us now with what you need to know.
Sarah, that's right. We all know summer in Savannah brings some brutal heat and sticky humidity. For student athletes, practicing outside is just another part of the game, even on the hottest days.
Athletes have spent hours at practice each day, getting ready for the upcoming school year. But with temperatures soaring, it feels more like the peak of summer than the start of fall sports.
Yes, teams are still practicing.
Exercising in the heat can make a person more likely to get heat-related illness. But the Savannah-Chatham County Public School System has different procedures in place to ensure that doesn't happen to their athletes.
They have specific guidelines that they must follow.
The district's Director of Health, Physical Education, and Athletics, John Sanders, says one of these guidelines is the wet bulb measurement scale. This takes into account the temperature, humidity, wind, sun angle, and cloud cover.
If the number is over 86, they have certain restrictions that they have to follow. So 86 to 92, there are different restrictions. Once they get to 92, then they're not able to practice outside at that point.
Along with following these guidelines, Sanders says there are many athletic trainers on standby if someone needs help.
We have athletic trainers at several of our schools, and generally they're there at the practices for those situations, but there are other guidelines. Schools are required to have ice baths with ice in them, so if a kid gets overheated, they can immediately put them in an ice bath. And they also have, access to 911 if it gets too serious where they need to call for extra help.
Whether it's shooting hoops or running drills, Sanders' tips for student athletes:
stay hydrated.
He says if parents have any concerns regarding their student athletes practicing in the heat, he wants to remind them of the guidelines they have to follow and wants them to know that they have staff and the tools to keep the athletes safe. Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3 on your side.
Isley, thank you. Switching gears now, 2 weeks after gunfire shattered a holiday celebration at one of the Low Country's busiest beaches, a major break in the case. Prosecutors say a grand jury has now indicted 7 people in connection with the July 4th shooting at Coligny Beach, while also revealing a significant change in how they plan to prosecute this case. WSAV's Andrew Davis has what investigators say happens next.
Every shooter, every bullet. That's the goal of prosecution for 14th Circuit Solicitor Duffy Stone for the 7 suspects now under indictment from the Coligny Beach shooting.
It was the sheriff's office camera that was on the beach at the time and caught everything, well, not everything, but a good bit of everything on video. That helps us not only move forward quicker, but most importantly with certainty.
Certainty that led to the indictments of 7 different suspects by a Beaufort County grand jury in connection with the shooting. Charges ranging from assault and battery of high and aggravated nature to possession of a firearm of someone under 18 to possession of a machine gun. The most recent arrest, Andre Green, picked up in Jasper County this week. He was someone who law enforcement knows very well.
We had criminal investigation ongoing on this particular defendant. He was involved in other issues in the Westbury Park area. So we had already had warrants for his arrest, and they were uploaded into NCIC.
Sheriff Tanner saying the entire event and 8 people shot, the result of juvenile ego.
One person got a look from another that he didn't like. He felt it disrespected him. And then from there, it turned into a fist fight. And from the fist fight, it turned into gunplay.
All the suspects, even the 17-year-old, will be tried as an adult. Some could get up to 40 years for their crimes. Solicitor Stone vowing to prosecute everyone for their brazen disregard for anyone's safety that night, even their own.
People that get together and decide that they can come to a public place and have a shootout, they need to understand that every one of them is going to be responsible for every bullet, every shooter, every bullet.
While there is video from the sheriff's camera right on the beach as well as social media, the solicitor says he would welcome any more people coming forward who might have information or video from that night to make this case even stronger. The suspects themselves, they'll be back in court on Wednesday for a bond hearing and first appearance. Andrew Davis, WSAV News 3 on your side.
We have been following this case from the very beginning. WSAV was the only one to have cameras on scene the night of the shooting. We have all our previous coverage on WSAV.com/Caligny shooting. Well, some new developments now. The man accused of fatally stabbing an 18-year-old outside the Wilmington Island Walmart last October was back in court today. Delano Middleton faces felony murder, aggravated assault, and other charges in the death of 18-year-old J.T. Schroeder. During today's hearing, both prosecutors and the defense asked the judge to delay the case because an autopsy was never performed. Court documents show Schroeder's body was released by the hospital to a funeral home before the GBI could conduct an autopsy, and he was later cremated. The judge granted this request and said the case may not return to court until this fall. Well, a Bluffton man is dead after a crash involving a vehicle and a bicyclist on Hilton Head Island. The Beaufort County Coroner's Office identified the victim as 72-year-old Gregory Herman. The coroner says Herman died Wednesday night around 9:48 on Marshland Road after being hit by a car while riding a bike. No other details about the crash have been released at this time. The South Carolina Highway Patrol is investigating. Well, President Donald Trump is throwing his support behind Darlene Graham, a candidate who has not yet announced whether she will run to keep the U.S. Senate seat she now holds after the death of her brother, Senator Lindsey Graham. In a social media post, President Trump said Darlene Graham, quote, has been a winner of all her life, and added, "Run, Darlene, run." The endorsement could shake up the race for the seat, with several other politicians considering a run, including Representatives Russell Fry, Nancy Mace, Ralph Norman, and South Carolina Lieutenant Governor Pamela Yvette. The filing period for the special primary runs from July 21st through the 28th. The primary election is scheduled for August 11th. Well, the start of a new school year is just around the corner, and Chatham County district leaders say they're looking to build on momentum while making some major changes inside classrooms. WSAV's Nakia Harris has more on the district's plans as the first day of school gets closer.
Superintendent says the opening bell is more than just a sound. It's a promise. And with buses ready to roll and schools making final preparations, district leaders are optimistic about the year ahead.
From a new cell phone policy for students in grades K through 12.
They enter into school every day, and throughout the school day they will not have access to their cell phones.
To new devices to help teachers quickly alert authorities.
One new safety measure, and that's our wearable panic button.
And with fewer classrooms to staff this year.
We have about 30 classroom teacher vacancies.
Savannah-Chatham County public school system leaders say they are starting in a strong position, even as they continue working through budget challenges. Superintendent Dr. Denise Watts says the district is facing lower revenue while costs continue to rise.
This means is that we will be moving into using some of our fund balance, about $17 million of our fund balance, to bridge that gap between expenditures and revenue.
She says one big area of focus this school year is the district's new strategic plan. It's called Unlimited Possibilities, a roadmap that will guide SCCPSS through 2031.
Rigorous learning, strong literacy and numeracy, timely support, a sense of belonging, and meaningful preparation for college, career. I want students to, in their present day-to-day experiences, to have high-quality learning, not only in the classroom but beyond. But ultimately, I feel like our job is to make sure that our students are prepared for a choice-filled life.
And the first day of school is August 3rd. Reporting here in Chatham County, Nakaya Harris, WSAV News 3 on your side.